And let's do. The instrument. Whatever. Go. So it is are you looking at the computer?
Yeah, I'm looking at all the pictures. Yeah.
Oh, all the pictures.
Yeah.
Oh, those that needs to be updated, doesn't it? This was a long time ago. What's up, Instagram? This is Enlightened Masculinity Podcast, a rare treat for you all. I rarely stream the show to this channel anymore because we got bigger followers on other channels. And but I got Captain Guerrero here, and we're going to do Enlightened Masculinity today here, as well as on other channels. So skip ahead if this is a recording. Right, like that. Wait. Hold on, I gotta shift off the music. There we go. Okay, somehow, if I could tilt this some way. Oh, okay, whatever. It's like that. That's how it is. Okay, and then we're live on these other platforms. We're live on the Instagram, and we're going to click record and just kind of tap in here, check in. What are we doing here? Zoom. Oh, yes, and then here's the microphone.
Right on.
All right. Record to cloud. What's up, everybody? I'm Yogi Chris, captain of IMC Nation. I'm here with another captain, Lieutenant, ex-lieutenant, Jesus Christ. The pattern goes so deep. Used to be lieutenant, the only man that's ever ranked up from a previous rank to captain. I was just, well, I guess I was tribal leader at some point, and then I was captain. But now you're captain, and this is a worldwide organization. So much, and it's so obvious here in Las Vegas, and we're going to tap in with Captain Guerrero about that because he comes from Los Angeles, been in IMC Nation for a long, long while, been to so many events, sponsored so many things, had so many experiences in what we do, and has achieved the rank of captain as of like, what, 2-3 months ago? And there's a whole presentation about it. It was beautiful. And now he's here at Base One living residency, as we do at IMC Base One, where I live with the founder, AZD. And we now have 4 or 5 established bases in Vegas, and more are still moving as, you know, as I've been kind of informing the audience, updating the audience over the past few episodes of, yeah, we decided to move to Vegas. Now we're moving to Vegas. Now we're here in Vegas. And every week is kind of like a check-in of like, you know, what's going on. And this week we have Captain Guerrero, and very able to speak about his experience here and transfer that to you all. I'll ask him some questions, and you'll get that kind of snapshot time capsule, not just from my perspective, but from his perspective too, which is well respected, highly regarded in IMC Nation. And so welcome to the show, brother. IMC TV, shout out, and Enlightened Masculinity on all the Apple, Spotify, all the channels and everything. So we're here with Captain Guerrero, man. What's it been like last, 4 days living here, 5 days?
Well, thank you all for having me. Thank you, Captain. It's been a very extraordinary experience. You know, the words that come to me, it's like you've been walking through the desert, dry for days and days. You think you're gonna die because there's nothing there, and then you find a beautiful well of water, fresh water. You see it, you keep going towards it. I put my hand down there, I lift it up, and I drink that beautiful water, and that's what residency feels like for me.
Wow. So amazing.
I mean, that's I'm trying to transfer the feeling to YouTube land or wherever we're.
Dude, why do you think that is? Why does that? Do you think it would be like that for everybody, or
Uh,
are you special?
for me,
Because you're IMC and you look at this stuff and you appreciate it.
yes,
Why was it water to you? This might not be water; it'd be poison to someone else. You know,
probably it'll be poison for the devil.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
there you go. So tell us about that. So what makes this water? Why is it water to you? Like
It's just nutrient for the soul. It's like biohacking, right?
okay,
It's like you're biohacking your soul with the information of IMC Nation.
that would be a wonderful title for the episode. So would you break that down for everybody, for me especially? I want to know what you understand, what you know about nutrient for the soul and biohacking the soul. Everything, that analogy you're going into, that metaphor, unpack that for us.
Yes, so
Living here is biohacking your soul.
yeah. Living here, biohacking your soul is receiving nutrients for the soul, which is gratitude, which is respect, which is honor, which is brotherhood, which is family, which is sisterhood, also womanhood, all that. It's a connection that we have here that it's hard to find anywhere else. I never found it anywhere else other than here in IMC Nation, speaking with other people, being around other people, being around different types of people. These men here truly understand what that is, and it's so beautiful to see. So yeah, that's what.
Yeah, you know, the three captains in IMC Nation right now that have achieved the rank of captain, I'm the only one that lives in a base. The other two, one lives with his wife and kids, and you live with family members. And you know, so that's interesting. It's an interesting dynamic. You know, you're high achieving, and then at the same time, you know, here, have you felt the difference of being around? It's hard to separate which variables, you know, because it's all coming at you in one package.
Yes.
But if you could tease apart the effect of just being able to freely communicate. I mean, even here, you have such humble livings. I'm sure at home you have a door. You don't have a door here. He lives in the living room in the corner over there. You know, so you have more comforts and a fuller fridge and things like, you know, so in many ways, life is more challenging to stay calibrated or whatever.
Yeah.
Sharing a bathroom, you may have your own bathroom, you know, all those things at home. But what you do definitely have here, besides the nightlife and what we do, all the lectures in person and everything, is the conversations with the guys that you live with, that anywhere else you live, you know, whoever you work with, whoever you train with, the conversation ends at some point when you all go home to your separate homes. And then you miss so much of the lifestyle of someone who excels at what they do. You know, behind, I mean, we still have our closed doors that we're behind, but it's like living together, there's a lot more seen, you know. So how's that been?
Well, the level of comfort I have here and at home is pretty much the same, and that's what I'm saying. You cannot find it in other places. The difference I do see is obviously the conversations you have. There's more understanding of how could I put this? Let me see. Let's just say when I come here to residency, it's a gathering of Thanksgiving. You know, it's Thanksgiving, and everybody in your family comes over, and everybody salutes each other. They hug each other with warm feeling. You know, after they mingle, they get all weird, but not here in IMC Nation. We here we just know we are all on this path where, like I said, the knowledge is nutrients to the soul, and if there's no nutrients being fed to your soul, you will feel it, and you'll check yourself. Pretty much, you pretty much check yourself if you're around like that. And yeah, I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, because there's a science to it. No, it made a lot of sense because it was a great analogy. Like, you know, there is a vibe, a friendliness, a warmth that you have in Thanksgiving, because people get, you know, so used to their families. There might be like bitterness internally. It's ridiculous, but it's what happens when you live with each other, and you know, everybody's a little bit toxic. And but something about, like, if you celebrated Thanksgiving, where it's like you kind of put all the bitterness aside for a little bit just to like have a Thanksgiving. Now the interactions may be fake, or because nobody knows how to communicate, so they're superficial. You don't want to be touchy with anybody. So we're good at communicating. We don't have to be fake, and that's like the strip club just comes to my mind as an analogy where it's like everything is so fake there, but we're finding elements of realness there, a real human reaction, the real humanity, in the illusion, because we're allowing ourselves to play, to act, because it's such a contrived illusion, and everybody's accepting it. What people don't accept is that their life is an illusion. That your life, whatever your job, your family, your relationships, you're acting already. It's a big fake lie. It's just a really boring, mundane lie. And the strip club at least is exciting in that way. But then, so if you could, it's almost like that. If you could find realness there, it would be like at the Thanksgiving table with your family, finding realness through all that fakeness. But there's a warmth and a friendliness that we have 24/7. Of course, people go through highs and lows and emotions and whatever. But you know, for going on 4 years now, it's been a warm, friendly family environment at IMC Base One, and that bleeds over into the other bases. They, you know, they get infected with that, and as guys come and stay residency, you get infected with that, and then you take that home, and we better the world that way. Literally, it's like Vegas has a bunch of tourists flow through. Vegas stays there, but then all those people come and go, and they leave changed. Better or worse, you decide. But Base One, that's like people come and go, come and go, come and go. They go back to where they were, and they're changed for the better for sure. And the world gets better. And the Thanksgiving analogy is we're just always in it, from morning till night, and then add into that the nightlife and you know, some of the weird activities that we do, strange to normal, man. And it's a warm, friendly family.
Yeah.
You know, the communication evolves. There's so many more doorways available when you have that dynamic, you know.
Yeah, and it's also beautiful to see everybody's perspective, because like I said, we're on the same path, we're on the same trajectory to wherever we're going as grown men, and to hear your perspective right there is different, and it's beautiful to hear. But he has his own, because he's captain himself, you know, and every
have perspectives, and you know, but there's something I respect extra about the respect the perspective. So there's something I respect more. It's not that I don't respect other people's perspectives. It's something like I have more in common with. It's not just that, because I'm looking for differences when I see other people's perspectives. I'm not looking for what's in common, but I know that your perspective will have much more understanding of where my perspective comes from also. So there's an alignment of where we come from, that it makes the perspective much more valid and real to me and useful to me. Because if I take on perspectives that have nothing to do with my reality, it doesn't contribute to what I'm doing. Like, it's so out of what I do that it would just like, it would stall my movement to go and look at that perspective, which maybe I need to do sometimes too. But I'm not explaining it really that well, but like somehow the perspective of another high level IMC guy completes this puzzle that I'm already trying to solve. It's a piece of a puzzle that I'm actually trying to solve. I'm not trying to solve that puzzle over there, wherever their perspective about whatever they care about is. This guy and the IMC guys care about what I care about. We're all trying to solve the same common puzzle because we're in a mastermind. And so his perspective is a perspective of the puzzle that I'm trying to solve. So it's more useful to me. Even though I respect all perspectives, something about this one's more useful. I respect it more. If that makes... I'm making my point.
Yeah, that totally, man.
See other perspectives, and being in that ecosystem. I mean, I know, even if you're not admitting it, I know that being in a house with a bunch of IMC conversations 24/7 is a completely different reality than being in a house with no IMC conversations.
Oh yeah, of course, 100%.
And the effect of watering that garden in your mind of those IMC ideas and the flowering and the fruiting and the vegetation that grows.
Yes. Let me just tell you, what I was speaking about is the family connection.
Yes, sir.
Not the knowledge or the nutrient of the soul. I was speaking on the connection. Now, if we're speaking about soul hack, let's say soul hacking instead of biohacking. Yeah, from nutrients, where I'm at with my family, there's none of that. Here, I have that. So it's best of both worlds. Does that
What is that?
The soul hacking, like the nutrients of the soul is present here at Base One and living amongst the men that understand that. At being with family, they don't understand that.
What is that?
That's soul. The nutrients that feeds the soul.
Yeah, what are those?
Knowledge, wisdom, wisdom. Let me see, wisdom. How can I put this? Oh, perfect. Let's use this analogy. It's like an example in biohacking. If you don't take vitamin A, then vitamin C will not work, right? So I have vitamin A at where I'm at. However, I don't have vitamin. I take vitamin C, and it doesn't process correctly, so it doesn't work. Here at Base One, I have vitamin A already, and then I take vitamin C, and it's awesome.
And so that vitamin C would be like knowledge and
Knowledge and wisdom and understanding of yourself and people around you.
understanding of yourself and people around you.
Mhm.
What is it that we understand about ourselves and people around us that, you know, is not experience? I'm going to be straight up with you, Captain Guerrero. I am in an echo chamber of IMC Nation. It's been years since I really interacted with people outside of IMC Nation.
Okay.
With occasionally, you know,
Yes.
people at the fight gym or, you know, obviously store clerk or something, but I just don't interact with people outside of IMC Nation. So what is the understanding of how people interact and whatever that's here?
Oh, I see. Well, interacting with people that are not in the IMC Nation, you begin to see a lot of bad in them, or whatever you want to call it. And then you have, when I'm working, I deal with different types of people. I'll deal with an asshole. I'll deal with a cool guy. I'll deal with all types of men that are aggressive, that are happy, that are this, and that. So as I'm doing my job throughout the day, I deal with these people, and I learned a lot about myself being around them. All the stuff that I didn't like about myself. So that manifested in people outside of IMC Nation. Now, here in IMC Nation, I see the things I love about myself in the brotherhood here. Out there, it's pretty much impossible to find. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I want to zoom in on it even more. I'm really hacking your brain right now, hacking your perspective. I'm a perspective hacker. So, what is it that in the world? What are those qualities that you don't like about yourself? And then within IMC Nation, what are those qualities that you do like about yourself that you're talking about, right?
Okay. So pretty much what I see, how can I put this in words that YouTube land can understand,
Hey, I don't
usually, yeah, I know, right? That's a good one. Yeah. So I'll give you an example. I had a situation where I was making a job, and I go make this delivery, and I'm knocking on the door. No one opens, right? Knocking. All right, fuck it. I get my knife out, I click it, and I open it to make the delivery. I'm a delivery guy. I go in there, I deliver. And then obviously I've been knocking, and I know someone's there. And then when I open the door, the manager comes up and looks at me straight in my eyes and says, "Don't you ever open my fucking door like that again." And I'm like, that humbled the shit out of me, especially this grown-ass man yelling to another grown-ass man. I mean, what am I gonna do? I'm working. Number one, I could fight, but it's not gonna go well for either man. I'm gonna lose my job, or this and that. And number two, what am I gonna do? Yell at him back and then go back and forth? So what do? I know it was wrong. That's what I'm saying. That's when I learned that I was wrong doing that. So that's one, and I don't like doing that to anybody. So I will not open doors that are not mine to open. So that's an example, I think, right? Or does it make sense?
Sure. Well, I mean, yeah, you made an error, and did you admit it to the guy?
Yeah, I didn't say anything. Because I didn't have my voice before. I had no voice.
How long ago was that?
Oh, this is like 10 years ago.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
10, okay, so my question was, so you're saying that out in the world, interacting with people, you find all these qualities that you hate about yourself. And then interacting with IMC guys, you see all these qualities that you love about yourself.
Yeah.
So what are those different qualities? The ones you hate about yourself that you see in the world.
Yeah, out there is different, but like I said, being here in IMC Nation and getting the vitamin A and vitamin C and everything from this knowledge has in turn twisted my perspective to now see what's good in the person.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, I think it's untwisted your perspective. And that's why you see the good in people. I think the perspective is twisted.
Oh, I see.
In culture. That's why we say people are twisted. They're wicked and twisted. That's what they are. They got twisted perspectives. So you've untwisted your perspective. That's called straightening out the lines in your philosophy.
That makes
So
sense, yeah.
now I'm interested because your analogy makes sense. Vitamin A, vitamin D, A, K, E. Now, what are these vitamins specifically? You said knowledge, understanding of, how to interact.
Being around strong men also is another thing. Being around the tribe, going to camps, doing every camp, reading every post, even Captain Chris's post. If he writes something, I read it. I read it more than once. AZD's post, everybody's post, listening to our own brothers, I'll listen to Sultan, I'll listen to Fernando's and IMC TV, I'll listen to every guy for a couple minutes just to hear what they're thinking. And let's be honest, it's hard to listen to some guys, right? However, I push myself to listen,
Yeah.
Hey, it's just the way it is. And
hey, I push myself to listen to you.
No, some guys, certain guys, and however, it's like something tells me to, and that's not a bad push. It's not a bad push. It's like a little nudge.
Yeah.
To like, oh, there's
boring when I started, bro. Yeah, my first stream.
So you understand, right?
Of course. Yeah, bro. I didn't start out streaming and knowing how to talk. I've done so many hundreds and hundreds, over 1,000 streams. Streams that I announced publicly or I was giving a lecture. That's not including all the in-person teaching, yoga, wrestling, and college classes, whatever. So just streaming, getting it in the beginning, even after all that teaching, college wrestling and whatever, my first streams, the silent flute, lecture 1, lecture 2, lecture 3, man, that was 5-6 years ago. About 6, I don't remember, a bunch of years ago. No, 7 years ago. Yeah. So monotone, boring, hard to listen to, man. It's hard.
Yeah. You see everybody's evolution. That's what's so beautiful.
Right now, if I listen to this right now, right after I finish it, be like, man, it's hard to listen to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Not for me, because you're very animated. I see it, but
yeah,
it's very cool. Even if I probably watch this myself, when I hear it, I'll be like, damn, it was probably a movie.
I'll have more entertaining to each other because I'm not used to your voice, you're not used to mine.
Yes.
So you'd be annoyed by your own voice, I'd be annoyed by my own voice. But together, I'm like, I like your voice, you're like my voice, and then it's
soothing.
That's what happens when people are isolated and alone. They just hear their own voice.
Yeah,
and it annoys them.
Yeah,
and interacting with people lose themselves in the crowd. Also, there's a trap. That's a huge trap that a lot of people are in. Also, people are in both traps. So the solution is not really one or the other. It's a philosophy and a lifestyle. Michael Singer and TM and all the ingredients of the process that we live, the AZD process that we're messengers of, to get the word out, to demonstrate and get the word out, either word of mouth or Instagram or TikTok or whatever, podcast. But there's definitely a cause and effect of physics of being alone. You're only hearing yourself. And that's why solitary confinement, surviving that is so impressive. You'd have to actually enjoy the sound of your thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not gonna be able to stop your thoughts.
Yeah.
So you'd have to enjoy the sound of your thoughts. And and then being in the public, being around people and, not losing yourself, because you'll start hating yourself if you just go into public, because you'll start doing what they do.
Yeah.
And they hate themselves. So sure. That's, we're masters of both and not just diving into one and losing the other.
Yeah. Like IMC Nation is a whole bunch of vitamins needed for the next thing to grow. Yeah. You know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying. You have a unique vitamin that IMC Nation needs. I have one. Sultan, everybody here at Base, we all have one. We combine it in order for us to keep moving forward. And that's why we speak a certain way. So those types of individuals come to us or to IMC.
For sure. Because, if we're all unique vitamins and nutrients and whatever, and, we need certain proportions of every vitamin and nutrient to construct the protein molecule or whatever molecule. but this is even more evolutionary than that. This is more organic than that because the proportions needed change. You determine your proportions. 8 years ago, a very small proportion of Yogi Chris was needed. Now, a very big proportion of Yogi Chris is needed. So, some time ago, Fernando wasn't even around. There was no Fernando nutrient. Then he became a nutrient. Somehow, there's room to accommodate new and innovative nutrients, and there's room to grow in importance in this overall molecule, this mastermind. And so it's a very changing thing. It's dynamic. But the analogy still holds that everybody brings something to the table, brings something to the plate, and it is about being in harmony with the group in terms of group dynamic. But then it's about individual survival. It's very decentralized. The IMC Nation is very decentralized. They're going to do their own thing, but it'd be to your advantage to cooperate also. If you're just and cooperate to the highest levels, like Ryan G and Scripps that cooperate together. But if they cooperated more with the overall group, they would have even more. That's just different levels of cooperation. And
I got one quick analogy that came to me as you're speaking. Another one of being around the family. It's the love is there. Yes, we get all that. However, I'm with them. I feel energy being zapped out of me. Right? It's zap, zap, zap. I come to base one or with IMC brothers, and this is what happens. Zun, 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 zun. So there's energy exchange. It's not just being leaked out. So now we're like boom, 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 boom. So that's what IMC Nation is to maybe that's a way better analogy.
Yeah, that's the ability to communicate helps to kind of recirculate the energy instead of just outflowing or inflowing or just moving past each other. That's most people communicate, they don't even hit each other. So that's why it feels like a leak, because I'm just pulling out, it doesn't come back. They feel a leak too. It's like, why is everybody leaking? You can just put a pipe here and recirculate it and nobody has to lose any energy. But that pipe is technology. That pipe, the communication is that pipe. The ability to communicate is the technology to do something with the energy. And the energy is, a river is limited by how often you can't make the river flow faster. You can't make it rain more so it flows faster. But somehow in communication in the mind, you can almost generate energy that wasn't even there, it didn't seem like. It's like you pull it out of the quantum field. It's like 0-point energy. It's like there's apparently no energy here, but if I had the right technology, I could pull like a nuclear reactor out of the vacuum of space, as they do in alien technology, how they charge their, it's where did that energy come from? It's 0-point energy. And so at the highest levels, why not? That's communication, I think. And I mean, that's getting really metaphysical and really heady and whatever with it. But that's literally, I mean, people, like girls especially, they see the superficiality, the superficialness of going to strip clubs and gaming and learning game and the materialistic life of Las Vegas. And you don't understand, this is a vehicle for practicing universal principles of communication and energy dynamics between people, because it's a playground and a theater and a training, a sparring gym for social dynamics, using the great motivators, the great impetuses, the great sources of energy to socially interact, which is survival and replication, money and women. And that dynamic that's what motivates guys and girls to communicate. And so we use that source of energy that Vegas kind of pulls it all together to improve our skills, our mindsets, our imagination, all the things, our alchemy, our word choice, our tonalities, everything that makes us masterful at interacting, because that's the nutrients for the soul, is all the ingredients of interacting the way that we do it. If you just keep it on a surface level, like, I don't know, like the college communications class or something, that's not going to be nutrients for the soul. It may have like little bits of it. That's like when you artificially fabricate iron as an iron supplement. It's not the same thing as getting iron from red meat. It's like that's metal. This is like biological iron. And you can't just chew on a nail and get your iron. And that's like what school is. So you like that one?
Yeah, that was good. Hell yeah, I got pictures. Those analogies are very cool, man. That's what I'm saying. Is different types of eyes. So I'm looking through your eyes and wow.
I think I got that nail analogy from a nutrition book somewhere. It's like you can't just chew on a nail to get iron. You have to, if I can eat it in the right sort.
Right on.
So yeah, I mean, that's biohacking the soul. It's great, concise episode. I wish we could give you guys more tangible, something like to do in your life, or You know, the importance of social interactions, it's, I had like one takeaway. You know, the solution when you have problems with people, sometimes you just don't want to deal with that person anymore, and you will legitimately like cut them out of your life. And there's actually very few people that I've cut out of my life. I've moved on. I keep going, but the door is like kind of open. It's ajar, it's cracked, it's unlocked. I don't know. It's something that
That's a beautiful analogy too.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like totally cutting them out. They'd have to be like hella criminal, and you know what I'm saying? It's just few. Or so just bad. Like there's a few IMC guys, but for all the hundreds of IMC guys that are not, that you know, the ratio is really skewed. So what was I saying? Ingredients to the soul.
Yeah, ingredients to the
social
soul,
interact.
yeah.
Oh, so when you have problems with people, it takes two to have that problem. Like if one person was a perfect communicator, they wouldn't have a problem with the other person, even if the other person was a shitty communicator. There is some inadequacy in both people's communication to have a problem. And since I can't control the other person, I can only make myself more perfect in my communication. It may be solving the problem as it happens. It may be the steps before it. Like if you hadn't popped the door, you wouldn't have had that conflict. But then there's also how you handle the conflict once you're in it. So there's always steps and steps before. And in this way that we do communication and look at it, it's not the surface level like chewing on a nail. Like it's that soul level. Because we understand we are souls communicating with other souls. And we're not pussies about it, because we also understand that there's really no motive. If we all truncate ourselves to the level of we're just souls interacting, there's really no reason to interact. We'll just sit in our soul self and just be happy. You know, and go pick a fruit when we want to. Like, why interact? Are we trying to mate? That's not what souls do. That's what the bodies do. Are we trying to feed our family? That's not what souls do either. That's what the body does. Your body wants to feed your family. So you're living you're in a materialistic life that if you're having problems with people, you can withdraw yourself and close yourself off and then no longer have that problem. But the problem is still in your character and how you interact, even if it's not being activated through the interaction. You got to go into the world to figure out what is it in me that's not perfect enough to handle what I want to handle, because I'm in the world to handle the world in the way I want. And if it's not going the way I want, then what do I gotta change? And then part of the system is you also need time away from that to reflect and process. But that's what I say, that we do both. You don't just do one or the other. It's a back and forth with discipline. And I put it in quotes because it's a level of discipline you wouldn't understand if I just say discipline. It is discipline we have a system, AZD process, and you know, that's what we offer. We have that to offer. A process of living and a demonstration.
Yeah, since we're speaking in analogies, another one came up to me. IMC Nation is grass-fed beef for the soul. IMC Nation is
any vegans out there that haven't watched biohacking, they're like, well, that's bad for you. I mean, that's carnage. That's deadly and
okay, how about, all right, for the vegans, if I give an analogy to you, it's beautifully watered grass with beautiful dirt that hasn't been messed with, and then beautiful rain. That's it.
That's good. Yeah, it's perfect.
There you go, vegans.
It's the way the world was when people lived to be 800 years old, with perfect soil and perfect air and perfect food.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so that's what IMC Nation is. So if you want to get your soul healthy, you know what you got to do. You got to, because right now it's probably in stage 4 cancer. You're out there. Your soul.
That's true. That's a great analogy. Man, yeah, the people in the world are in stage 4 cancer with their mindset and their fucking communication skills. They're like tuberculosis, emphysema, fucking cancer.
There we go.
As they're talking. And you know, we're getting healthier and healthier and healthier, running. And the guy with emphysema's got his oxygen tank. You know.
Exactly. So use that oxygen tank to come out here and breathe some fresh air and begin your healing.
Fresh air and healing and communication. Fresh air.
100%.
A breath in the mind.
Yeah.
Fresh energy.
There we go. Yeah.
All right, everybody, you can catch the recordings, leave a review, and shout it out, share it, and thank you. I'll see you all on the next Enlightened Masculinity episode. Thank you, Captain Guerrero.
Awesome. That was good, man. Shit.
Yeah.